This person has been longing for you in secret with this energy of disguise. This is somebody who has been trying to kind of like blend into the background of your life. So, this could be somebody that is a friend that has developed feelings for you, or something where you've kind of like reached a place in your connection with one another. If this is someone that you've had romantic exchanges with, where they have needed to take some time to kind of like pause and digest everything that has happened between the two of you. This is somebody that has awakened to deeper feelings. Maybe they caught feelings for you very quickly, sooner than they expected, or they were like, okay, it feels right to kind of explore things emotionally, or I'm starting to catch feelings, and then glancing in that direction has like opened a floodgate within them where they're like, whoa, okay, this is intense. This is real. This has the potential to be something that can be the type of wish fulfillment I have been seeking all my life. So let me just take a moment, get my bearings, and make sure that I am ready for what happens next, or what I need to do next in this connection. This is somebody that is starting to look at every experience you've had with one another. They're thinking back on previous interactions, previous conversations, and they're reading between the lines, or feeling into and being more receptive to kind of like subtleties that might have been missed, or things that, they might have noted at face value, but they were like, it's too soon to start to get like the warm and fuzzies for this person. I need to take time, need to sort of vet the situation out. And so they had kind of like bottled up these feelings, or they had kind of sort of been in denial and kind of pushing down certain truths within. But now they're looking back at all those experiences through the lens of love, and through the heart space. And this is something that this person's like, yeah, this is true. This is genuine. This is real. This is something worth investing in. This is a connection that, it serves my highest interest to like call this in closer, or to step closer to this individual rather than to push this away. Because they're seeing that this is a very like rare and unique experience between the two of you that is taking place right now, and that has already taken place. There may also have been a lot of signs and synchronicities, either that this person got like before they had met you, that had kind of like stuck in their mind, sort of the idea of something is going to come, signs and omens of like something good on the horizon, love coming in, maybe a lot of angel numbers that they were getting, something that could have come through in like downloads or in dreams. And it's all starting to add up for like, you're the person that they've been waiting for. You were this person that their like higher self let them know, or their spirit guides, or their angels, source kind of like let them know, like, hey, this is coming in. This is the time for something like this to happen. This can also be something where this person's been trying to manifest like a real connection, a serious partnership with someone for quite some time. And they started to get these indicators like right before you connected with one another, maybe early on in the connection. And they were like, this could be somebody that's like, I don't want to read too much into that, because maybe they've gotten signs about people before and it turned out to just be karmic lessons, or for some this is something where they've never experienced that kind of phenomenon before, and so it took some time for them to be like, whoa, okay, so more than just what's happening between the two of us on a mundane level, there's this extra kind of like spiritual layer to things. And now it is so frequent, it is so obvious that I can't ignore that anymore. And so it feels like anything where there might have been like skepticism or guardedness about that, or it might have just kind of like, things that like flew under the radar, they didn't even pick up on it. They are now at a place within themselves of like, the dots are connecting themselves. They're starting to sort of like backtrack and put together the pieces, or follow this kind of like narrative, this sort of trail from where you both were to where you are at this particular point in time. And there's a sense of like, not just that exciting things can happen between the two of you, but something that also is like very meaningful, very significant, that may be sort of the indicator of like, my search for love is over because I have found you, we have connected with one another. We also have inspire. So you definitely inspire and embolden this person to express their feelings, to explore these feelings within. Maybe even ways in which you have kind of, you've talked about your experiences with signs and synchronicities, perhaps relating to this person or just as a way that you kind of like navigate your life in general. Anything that you've mentioned about your spiritual beliefs or, things that you're aware of, like on an energetic level, this person, it feels like, has taken that in. And at first they took it in, it kind of like, okay, so those are your beliefs, those are your experiences. But now it's something that's really relevant or resonating with them as it pertains to this connection. And so you are inspiring this person to start to think outside of the box, not just in terms of like what's possible between the two of you, like a spiritually significant connection or something where it's kind of like we must be doing something right with one another because the energies outside of us seem to be applauding that, seem to be nudging us forward in that direction. And this is something it feels like as well, that anything where you've kind of like given this person space, you've honored their kind of like need to kind of piece together the bigger picture of what's sort of happening between the two of you or the potentials. You haven't tried to like push this person to move quicker than they have been ready to. You've respected their boundaries, you've respected their space, you've kind of put your own boundaries in place. You're standing in your sovereignty and like your sense of self is very high, it's very strong. All of this has inspired this person to not feel guilty about sort of like taking the time to just sit and absorb and introspect and kind of look at the nature, not just of what's happening between the two of you on the 3D, but other things that are kind of cluing them in very personally, very privately, and very obviously, that are these loud and clear kind of signifiers to them that this is something rare, this is something unique, this is something special. Whatever can happen between the two of you moving forward, it has the potential not just to be like emotionally fulfilling, but also something that really represents like a very clear staircase that can be walked by the two of you hand in hand up into a higher level love, a higher level experience of romance than they've had before or than they maybe expected or thought was possible with you or this quickly with you or at this time in their life. We also have intention. Yeah, so this person is kind of like fighting the urge to sit too long in that energy of like, let me overthink things. Let me kind of just like look at all these signs and synchronicities and seek out answers or question that. This person may be somebody who has prayed for a sign and they've gotten that response from the universe like very quickly. This could be something that, this could be the type of person that when this has happened, it's sort of like, okay, so I see that, but it's not a signy enough sign. I need something else. And they just like kept asking for things. They kept kind of like double checking and triple checking, sort of like, okay, so maybe that's just a coincidence. Let me see if something else comes up that kind of like, fits in that description of something that indicates that this is no like ordinary love between the two of you, or that whatever is happening has created or has stirred up or has awakened some extraordinary current outside of what they've experienced kind of just living their life on their own prior to meeting you, or what has been typical with other romances that they've known. So this is somebody, it feels like, that is prone to overthinking. They may be most comfortable in like a logical stance, the kind of person that's like, I'll believe it when I see it. And they've now reached this place of like the signs, the indicators, maybe even things coming through in dreams, have made a believer out of this person. That this is a situation that whatever they need to do in order to fight through fears, move through obstacles that may be, in their life or stand between the two of you, or be patient while you are working through things in your life to make you more ready and accessible to them, for the two of you to have like a higher level experience with one another. This is something where this person is kind of like they're wanting to fight for this connection, fight for like the creation of space between the two of you, not like, hey, let's take our space, I need to think, I need distance, but space, room for the potential, the seeds of potential that have been planted, that are sprouting, that are being tended through your attention and experiences with one another, and also attention that they are giving to matters of the heart as far as you are concerned, quietly, like inside. That's the kind of space that they want to make sure exists for the fullest experience to blossom. This is somebody that sees that a very lush garden of love is possible between the two of you. And so this is somebody that understands as well that like holding back empowering the current of fear, that's only just going to create unnecessary delays between the two of you. So this is definitely somebody that they want to kind of like repurpose that energy that they might have used in the past to worry, and instead to kind of like polarize that and push it into this potential between the two of you. This is somebody that understands this is like a rare experience that you are having with one another at this point in time, and this is somebody that's like, yeah, I want to do what I can to make sure that we are fostering the best possible experience and environment energetically and actually for whatever's going to unfold between the two of us to have the greatest opportunity to do so in a beautiful and fulfilling way. We also have create. So this person definitely wants to create the next chapter of your story with one another together. They think you work really well as a team. They like the way that you have exchanges with one another, things that you've talked about, even, points that you don't necessarily agree on. There's a sense of like there's room for us within this connection to agree to disagree. This is somebody that has learned a lot from you, learned a lot about the different ways to love that had never been experienced by them before. They've learned about different things that are kind of like your interests, things that you're knowledgeable about, goals that you're working toward, your perspectives on life, kind of, maybe even sort of past experiences that have shaped you into the person that you are today. This is something that the experience with you overall, this person finds to be very enriching. They see you as somebody, that they are very lucky to have encountered in this life. And so this is somebody that's like, I want to continue to, kind of develop that between the two of us, where we're not just kind of like with one another on the points where, we're seeing eye to eye, but that there's enough kind of opportunity in this situation for the two of you to like develop as people, and to develop like a different or more well-rounded experience of love and partnership. Also have strength. Yeah, so these are very strong feelings that this person has for you. Their heart is open, their eyes are open to this connection. This is somebody that is looking towards you as the object of desire, but also as somebody that they know that they need to approach by putting fear behind them and allowing this current that exists between the two of you to almost kind of like make them flow in your direction while also taking active steps. This is somebody that doesn't just want to leave things to chance. They believe like divine timing is at play, but they also sort of feel that it's like, I think our destiny's in our hands here. I think that, we shouldn't just kind of err on the side of caution and sort of wait and see what happens, or let things develop very naturally between the two of us, because it feels like that has already taken place up to a certain extent, and they've reached this place of being able to kind of like see beyond the ordinary in this circumstance, see how there are so many things outside of the experience between the two of you directly that seem to suggest or point them in the direction of like move forward towards this person. Take a chance here. Trust in what it is that you are feeling. And so this is something that feels like that gives them a lot of empowerment and strength. Every time they get that sign or synchronicity, every time it feels like they're praying for guidance, praying for a sign, praying for an answer, and it comes in like really quickly. This is something that is like, okay, I'm on board with this. I'm a believer. I'm seeing it right now, and so I'm believing it, and I can therefore take steps in the direction of the mystery of what will become, because there's been so much evidence already that has helped to provide a degree of reassurance inside of this person that there's no pressure to kind of like be anything other than who they are, but there's also this kind of like encouragement to sort of grow beyond the comfort zone. So this person definitely understands that it's like steps forward towards you will involve connecting on like more of an obvious level, a deeper level, more of a romantic or an emotional level, but it's almost like it doesn't stop there, that that's just like a first step forward to very profound changes internally, emotionally, energetically, maybe even things actually in both of your lives, in order to sort of accommodate or make room for the fullness that this connection can develop into as they're kind of perceiving it. But it's something that it's like this person says, yeah, I want to do that. I want to have that experience with you. And we also have adaptation. Yeah, so it feels like this person is starting to kind of adjust their love language beyond what is just kind of like comfortable for them or what they've shown up to this point in time to provide you with these little reassurances in ways that'll be significant and meaningful for you. That this is somebody who is not just expecting that this connection is going to involve a lot of sacrifice on both your parts, in order to kind of like fit your different pieces together with one another, but that this is a process of like adapting rather than kind of like cutting away at obstacles. It's sort of like, let's grow beyond the thresholds, the experiences that we have had so far, the way in which our lives have shaped us, that have informed how we are comfortable kind of giving and receiving in romantic connections. This is somebody that wants to take risks in the direction of like sharing more of their vulnerability with you, reaching you on an emotional level, not just in a way that's comfortable or natural for them, but in a capacity that they have come to understand or they're starting to understand would help you to sort of soften into the recognition that there may still be work that needs to be done in order to have that kind of like happily ever after with one another, or get to that place where it's like, you're an actual couple, things are moving, forward in that direction of, it feels like this person's looking at this like a forever kind of partnership, almost like I'm not going to find something like this with another person, and I don't want to kind of like keep my options open or keep seeking for that in something else, because what I've been made aware of in this situation, it feels right, it feels rare, it feels like it's divinely guided, so I want in on this. And so this is something where it feels like, rather than you having to just continue to maybe hold space for this person to sort of acclimate to that experience of like a spiritual aspect to this, or something where they've become comfortable with kind of the essence of feelings that have come up inside, or that have intensified within them, this is somebody that wants to kind of reach out towards you to pull you in closer, or to provide you that sort of reassurance that it may take steps for them to sort of draw nearer to you, but they are moving in that direction. You're not expected to kind of hold space for them forever, or what you've experienced so far. This isn't like all that they're capable of. This is somebody that's trying to kind of like pick up new skills as far as communication is concerned, as far as emotions are concerned. This is somebody that wants to make those efforts in order to help you to know that, like, yeah, I'm evolving towards you. I'm growing in your direction. I am reaching for you. I am clasping onto this experience between the two of us, looking at it through the eyes of love, my heart space wide open, brightly lit. And I am moving in your direction, at times quickly and at times slowly, but I am progressing towards you because you are the person that I want. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.